Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is John and this is your Modern Tech Breakdown. Today I'm looking at a recently uncovered vulnerability within the Windows kernel that was written in Rust. Let's jump into it. Alright, so a company called Checkpoint Research has identified 6 different vulnerabilities in Microsoft Windows, and one of them caught my eye. According to their own blog post, Checkpoint Research believes they have identified the first ever publicly disclosed security flaw in a Rust-based component of the Windows kernel. Well, I think this is definitely going to stir up some folks on the internet. As most of you are aware, the Rust language is known for being memory safe, even though a lot of Rust code is written using the unsafe feature of the language. And there's a very big push in some places to move more and more code into Rust. And unfortunately, the Rust community has a bit of a reputation, and let's just say it isn't universally loved throughout the tech world. So this push to move legacy components towards Rust rewrites has been controversial to say the least. But here we have a flaw in a component which seems to undermine the entire rationale for moving to Rust. But to be fair, this particular flaw is not related to memory usage. It seems that the Windows kernel component, which has not been definitively identified, fails to deal with an underlying issue and doesn't handle the situation gracefully. And because it's a kernel component, when it fails, it triggers a system-wide reboot, which could be exploited in a denial of service attack. So it doesn't seem that this vulnerability allows for remote code execution, but it could enable an attacker to seriously cripple any machines they can get to. But let's step back for a second. The company did not elaborate on the specifics of the vulnerability. They only said it was a Rust-based component in the Windows kernel. And it just so happens that on the same day of this blog post announcing the vulnerability, that a CVE was issued for a potential denial of service vulnerability in Windows DirectX. So I think there's a pretty good chance that this particular CVE is the one that Checkpoint Research is referring to. And based on the information in this CVE, it seems that a DirectX component doesn't limit or have an ability to throttle requests for resources, which causes the component to crash. So again, not a remote code execution issue, and it's not related to memory safety either. And to be clear, from my research, I couldn't confirm if this particular component was written in Rust or not, but Microsoft has said a few years ago that they were exploring using Rust, so it definitely seems possible. Now, I'm not certain that Microsoft has rewritten this component using Rust, but it seems like this could be an example of the risk you take when you rewrite legacy code. It opens up the opportunity to create new bugs or introduce new vulnerabilities into the code. So in this case, assuming it was rewritten, was it really worth it? Presumably, there were no memory safety issues in the previous version, and now, as a result of rewriting it in Rust, now you've created a vulnerability that wasn't there before. Again, I'm speculating that a rewrite occurred here. I don't know that for a fact, but the bottom line is, if you're a Rust critic, which I know there's a ton of you out there, this news will prove a point. And if you're a Rust fan, I think you can rightly point out that this type of bug was never something that Rust claimed to solve anyway. But there you have it. I know there's a ton of strong opinions on this particular topic, so have at it in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.